Hey everyone, Mr. Kim Singh here, and I'm really excited to show you how to build your first website in 2019. And it's great because anyone can get started really easily. All you need are two things. The first thing you need is a web browser, so like Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. And the second thing you need is a text editor. So that's anything like Microsoft Word, Notepad even. I'm using one called Sublime Text that you can see on the left over here. And it's got some extra features that is particularly helpful for when I'm building websites. So I'll put a link to the download in the description below so you can check that out. Now the first thing you want to do when you're editing a website is, I've put also in the description this file, and this is called index.html. And this is basically how we're going to be editing our website. Now when we're editing our website, you want to keep some things in mind. The first thing is that on the left, that's going to be how I make any changes to the website that I look at. And on the right, that's how I see those changes. Like on a web browser, you go on the web and you can see things. So first thing, I want to make sure I'm editing and I'm looking at the right file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this file onto the left for Sublime Text, and so you can pop up there. I've got some code there already. And if I drag it to the right as well, you can see it loads it. And the link there is actually a file directory, because obviously this is not on the web, this is just on my computer. Now, this isn't particularly interesting because there's nothing really there at the moment, right? Let me go back to this left side over here. So I've got a few things going on. This first line is essentially just telling the document or telling the computer that this is an HTML kind of file. And then there's some other things here. Now, all these things in these brackets we call tags. And tags are a really core part of HTML and how we communicate certain things to see what we see on the web page. The first thing is you can see, again, there's an HTML at the bottom. This is our opening tag, and anything with a slash is a closing tag, and that applies for all of these too. So this is where all the HTML starts, inside here. Now the head, I guess if you think about what's inside your head, it's got your brain, and you're doing a lot of thinking there. So we're going to put some things that we want to think about in the head, but all the main stuff, that's going to go in our body. So all the text that we want to look at, that's going to go there. So let's go ahead and start doing that. The first thing that a lot of programmers like to do is type hello world to kind of represent their first program. Now, a few things that you have to do before we actually see anything. You notice that I've typed it there, but nothing's kind of happened on this page. And we need to do two things before you see any changes. First thing is you need to save this document on the left, because we've made a change here. And if you actually look at the top over here on the tab, you can see there's a white circle. And that means there's been some unsaved changes. So you can save by just going File and Save, or you can just press Control S, that works too. And you can see that white dot goes away now. But still, we don't have any changes over here. And that's because you actually need to refresh the page, or you can press F5. Boom, there you go. Like, you've made your first website. Now, again, it doesn't look particularly interesting. So let's work on it bit by bit to kind of jazz it up. The first thing that is something that we'd like to do is maybe make this text bigger, because it's a bit small right now. We can do that in a few ways, but one of the ways we can do that is with a heading. So any kind of tag we want to do has an opening and a closing. So we want to have our opening tag, so H1 stands for heading 1, and you want to close it. And remember, to close it, we need to put a slash like we have for all of these ones. That just tells you when you stop it. Now, Sublime Text is really good. It has some autocomplete things, so you can see it actually just did that for me. Alright, again, I don't see the change there. I'm thinking, oh, I don't need to refresh the page. No, that didn't do it. Oh, of course, I need to actually save first. So there's just some troubleshooting for you when you're going about. If you don't see a change, make sure you've saved and make sure you've refreshed. Boom, there you go. Much bigger and much nicer now. Alright, what else can we add? Well, we want to have some kind of text, and we have the paragraph tag to represent that. And you can see once I start typing this tag and a letter, it comes up with a whole heap of things I can put in. Sublime Text is really good. If you just click that, it actually creates an opening and closing tag for you automatically, which is great. So now I can just stop typing. This is some text that we're going to type. And I'm going to build my first website. Alright, yeah, let's save it, Control S, and then refresh. There we go. So that's how you can go ahead and build your first website. Any changes you make on the left, make sure you save them. And on the right side for your browser, make sure you refresh to reflect those changes. We're going to look at how we can add some different features in, make it look a lot nicer, and add a whole heap of different elements like pictures and videos and all that later on. But this is a first intro to help you get started on building your first website. Hope that helped. See you in the next one.